This will be a video chart on CDIV, Cascadia Investments Incorporated. This one, some people know as CDIV, other people know as the Freak of Nature. This is the daily chart, and we're not going to spend too much time on this one for the sole reason of all you can really tell from it is that this thing is a freak. As you can see, it barely goes down any. I don't know. It has like red days once every 4 months. So it's just a real bizarre chart. Bizarre, obviously, in a good way, and that's why I call it a freak of nature. This is definitely the exception and not the rule. You do not see charts act like this on a routine basis, but nonetheless, it's just been an absolute beast, and been getting quite a few requests for it, so I want to get it updated. But what we're going to use is a 60-minute chart, just because it kind of will be easier to break down the chart a little bit better than rather than the daily chart, whereas you just saw is basically just pointing straight up like that. So you can't really take too much from a daily chart when all it's telling you is, freak of nature. So here we are on the 60-minute. And for those of you that might not know what that necessarily means, each one of these bars or candlesticks, as they're called, on the 60-minute, these just represent 1 hour worth of time, whereas on the daily chart, they would represent 1 day. On this chart, they just represent 1 hour worth of price action, so keep that in mind. So the first thing I want to point out is just, check out these moving averages. This is exactly what you want to see for a strong uptrend. We have, the 50 period very clearly sloping up. We have the 200 period very clearly sloping up. Have really nice separation between the two of them, and that's what you want to see from moving averages. Nice separation while they're heading up in the same direction. Even on the 50-day, the separation from its 20 period, very nice, and as you can see, both of them all pointing upwards. So there's no conflicting things going on. It's not like we have maybe a neutral pattern on the short term, and then medium term we have something else. On all terms, short, medium, and long, it's all an uptrend, all bullish. So it's just one of those things where the chart is literally firing on all cylinders. But with that being said, it's kind of interesting because people will ask, how do you play something like this? And I won't lie, it's not like I have a lot of experience because these charts don't come along too often. But looking at the 60-minute, you can see some of these moving averages have continually given good areas of entry. And the one that really sticks out is the 20 period, which is this red line here. If you look, it seems like every time the price hits it, you get some nice moves. This area right here was a little bit longer of a wait here had you gotten in, but once again bounced off. Here you could have gotten in, headed up. Here's another chance, headed up. There was a chance, went up. Here was another longer term one before it went up. So the moving average that really seems to be kind of, the driving force is this 20 period right here. Every time the price gets near it, and like you can see, it's gone below and stuff like that and hung around, but just kind of the zone of it seems to be acting as a trampoline. The price may get down there and hold up, for a few days like it was here, but, once again it got shot back up. So as the kind of guiding light, I guess you could say, for this one is the 20 period simple moving average, and that's the one that I've been watching, and it's just doing a good job of kind of showing where some possible entries are. If you're a little bit more patient, we do have the 50 period too, where this would have given you a really nice entry. Once again, here was a good entry, but on the flip side, if you had been waiting on this pullback here, you would have never gotten an entry before this move back up. So that's kind of the give and take of charts. You win some, you lose some. Here would have been some very nice winners, and then here you'd have just lost out on getting in. But if you use a 20 period, you're pretty much going to get in quite a few times. You may have to wait a while, and you might not get the the best possible entry. But with a chart that's just sloping upwards, like this one is, it's one of those where with a little bit of patience, this one seems to continue to pay off time after time. And then if you extend it out like this, you can see that really this move here is just an extension of an overall bigger move. We had a nice little move here, had quite a bit of consolidation, and then this is where it really took off and basically went parabolic. But the chart's been in a very overall uptrend, and as this 200 period is showing us, very strong on all levels. So this is exactly what you want to see in the chart. You want to go with the trend. People that are shorting this, have just continually been getting, burned. You don't want to really go against the trend. And as this one shows, the trend is just, straight up and supported by, these nice moving averages. So if you're kind of confused and not really sure what to make of the daily chart, I'm with you. I don't know what to make of the daily chart other than what I've said. You can't really tell too much from it, but if you drop down to the 60-minute here, it'll give you a little bit better idea of what's going on and help you hopefully be able to manage entries and stuff like that. So um, this is the chart. This is how I would look at it with the 60-minute. But to each their own. That's the great thing about charting is there's no right or wrong way to do it. If there are any other questions on the chart, though, please shoot me a message. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook, which has been getting really good reviews. And with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's a good variety, something for everybody, and everything's free, no strings attached, so it's worth at least signing up and giving it a try. One more time, this was CDIV. Thanks for listening.